Good afternoon. Welcome to video number 3 in the porcupine. The porcupine can be built either with plastic pipe, which is what we're going to use today, or it can be made out of 1.5 inch square wood. A pine wood, something that hasn't been treated with any kind of preservatives to keep it from rotting, because that stuff leaches off into the fish population. So, how big is this? The piece you see sitting in front of me, which you can't see yet, is approximately 3 feet by 3 feet. They can be as small as 2 feet, they can be as big as 4 feet square. Depends on what shape you have underneath your dock and where you want to put it. But 3 by 3 seems to be a pretty good size for most people. The porcupine these pipes are full of concrete. They weigh about 30 pounds a piece, so we have 120 pounds of concrete laying here. If you build it out of wood, you can use concrete blocks, you can use stone. You need to build a more robust floor in it to hold all the weight into it. But you can build it out of, you can put any kind of weight on there. Now the first thing you do is once you kind of get it squared up, now if you're building out of wood, they're going to be much squarer than they are here. Now that we've got our basic layout, next important thing is a screw. You need a screw long enough to go through your top piece of material and 1 inch or so into your bottom piece of material. So you're going to look at something probably between 3 and 4 inches long. It needs to be an outdoor deck screw so that it can survive the weather as long as possible. And you may want to make sure you take 2 credit cards when you go buy these screws, because they're not cheap. Okay, so we get 1 screw in here. We've got the first part of our corner set up. At the beginning, you'll spend a lot of time checking to make sure your things get squared. But after the first couple of rows, it really does go together pretty fast. So as you're building this, we found that it's easiest if you make the frame go up 1 layer at a time and don't get too far ahead of yourself. If you have a helper to help hold the material in place, it does make things a little quicker and a little easier. Make sure it's one that doesn't walk back and forth in front of your camera every 5 minutes, so okay? And I will tell you that it doesn't take long before you figure out how long the overhang is on each side. Okay, so now you see we have the first basic square. 4 pipes, all filled with concrete and screwed together and got some shape. I'm going to turn the camera off for a few minutes and put another layer or 2 up so I don't have to think about what I'm doing twice. So I have the material for the next layer set up. And just to show you a little bit about what it makes it shape and what makes this unique, you'll notice that's straight up from the bottom level. And it's offset a little bit. It actually is offset the width of the bottom piece of pipe. So this is a 2 inch pipe, so there's a 2 inch offset. And this gives you a groove so the fish can get in and out, and still keeps the big fish away from them, but they have a place for the juvenile fish to hide. Now, one of the things that will happen to this piece when we put it in the water is we will fill a lot of this area in between with different kinds of brush and stuff, so that it has something for the algae to grow on, for the algae and the moss to grow on. Because even though juvenile fish do hunt, they do eat quite a bit of their diet comes out of algae, small things like that. Then they also eat a lot of, like everything does, crayfish. So we need a place for those creatures to survive and grow in here, so that they have a nice warm place, or nice good place to eat. And you can see as we're getting closer to the top, the porcupine is kind of taking a pyramid shape. And this is a spot where you can start using some of the narrower wood that was cut a little short, or using up the end. So as you're working this out, this one right here now is getting real close to 2 feet high. It is, well, it's very close to 2 feet high. It's 27 inches, so it's a little over. There are 10 layers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 layers total in this. So that's 11 times 4, that's 44, and then you have about another 3 or 4 oddball pieces to finish off the top. So you're going to need 45 pieces of lumber 3 feet long. So you're going to buy a pretty good sized pile of 1 or 2x2s or 1x2s. Here we have the finished porcupine. As you can see, there's a reason for the name. Just a reminder, what we're trying to duplicate here is a big pile of small trees piled on the bottom of the lake. Whether it's made out of 1x2 or it's made out of 2-inch pipe. Both work equally well attracting fish. The 2-inch pipe one will last a lot longer, but the 2-inch pipe is very difficult to come by. You'll notice that the beams across the top are all double screwed so that we can pull things out of the lake or put things into the lake from a boat. If you have any questions, just don't hesitate. My email address will be attached to this film. We'll be happy to answer your questions for you. Thank you very much, and in a few more days we'll have the next lesson.